So we're at the Birchwood Hotel in Boksburg, where the ANC is holding its 5th National General Council. Now, what is the General Council? The General Council is not an elective conference where the ANC elects leaders, but it's also not a national policy conference where it adopts some policies. What it is a mid-year or a mid-term review of the party's performance since its last elective conference. We do know that the last elective conference for the ANC was in 2020, where it elected some of its leaders. And what the National General Council over today and the next 3 days is going to be doing is looking at a review of some of those policies that were adopted during the last conference and what has been the progress in terms of adopting those policies and implementing them at government level. Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa has given a political overview of some of that progress that the ANC has made, but also some of the lack of progress that it has also made. He focused a lot on the shifting balances of power, both nationally, domestically, and internationally. An example of the shifting balances of power is the fact that the ANC in the last elections got 40% of the vote and was actually forced to go into coalition with some other political parties for the first time in the country's democratic history. Now, what that has done for the ANC in terms of some of the resolutions it adopted in its 55th National Elective Conference in 2022 is that it has to recalibrate and also re-examine some of those declarations. That is what President Cyril Ramaphosa has said. For an example, in the ANC's elective conference, the party adopted a resolution to expand the number of items in the food baskets of zero-rated items that are not charged value-added tax. Now, what we do know is that last year the ANC did try to introduce a motion in Parliament that would have, one, increased value-added tax by 2%, but also expanded the number of items in the baskets of zero-rated food items. What happened is that other parties within the GNU objected to this, and then the ANC obviously did not achieve its goal of implementing and expanding the items of zero-rated food basket items. And that is what President Cyril Ramaphosa was speaking about when he said that the balances of forces domestically have changed, but also internationally too, where we have seen that there's been a lot of tension between Pretoria and Washington. Now, that has resulted in the fact that AGOA has still not been renewed and has expired for about 2 months now. And what President Cyril Ramaphosa has said is that, the shifting balances of power internationally in terms of Washington, with Donald Trump being the president and accusing South Africa of all kinds of things and not expanding AGOA, it means that the ANC has to sort of relook some of those policies again in terms of diversifying the number of countries that it does trade with and no longer relying on America as its #1 trading partner. Now, over the next 3 days, the hundreds of delegates, of ANC delegates from across the country will be locked in sessions where they will be discussing or reviewing a number of issues from governance, finance, trade, but also coalitions. A specific focus for this National General Council is on local government, as we do know that next year is likely going to be the local government elections. So over the next 3 days, the ANC will be performing a review of itself and some of the challenges that faces both the party and the country. Thabiso Koba, reporting for Eyewitness News at the Birchwood Hotel in Boksburg.